Welcome back to Dawn of War Stronghold. It is I, your lord, your master, your ruler, Unseen Strike. And today, I have a good game coming. I have Eldar versus Dark Eldar. I have Rectangles versus Frenetic. And I want to say we've seen Frenetic earlier in the casts playing Necrons, I think. Anyway, Fata Morga. Common map, as always, we see it all the time. We see Dark Foundry opening right away, so this is a vehicle base for light vehicles for the Dark Eldar. And on the other side, we see Frenetic with his Eldar. And let's see, it looks like this is the normal Dark Reaper build for the Eldar. We see Fleet of Foot already queued.
We will fulfill our duty.
We'll see the Dark Reaper Stone, here it comes. And if anybody has it, again, I'm going to talk to my editor. If we can get somebody to find me a Dark Eldar versus Tau game. It's been requested a couple times now. So here we go. Eldar versus Dark Eldar. Interesting matchup. Both races are very strong early game. The Dark Eldar, once this thing is done, can be extremely aggressive. Even if you know it's coming, it's one of the harder builds to defend against. Even versus this Dark Reaper rush. The Dark Reapers are good, but they're not vehicle killers good. So you have to be really careful where you place them, especially without any upgrades on them. And if they're isolated, or if he catches one or two every once in a while and picks them off, the Dark Eldar trade very well. You can also see the Dark Eldar player tech into stealthed mandrakes and really put a hurting on Dark Reapers, because the Eldar detection early game comes from Warlocks, which are available only on Guardians, and you normally don't see too many Guardian squads early because of how expensive these Dark Reapers are. So it's an interesting balance, interesting matchup. Fleet of Foot is done, so we're going to see some aggression here pretty soon. And the first squadron should be coming out, or maybe they're already out. No, not yet. We have Hellions. These are pretty much like hoverboard riding. They do extremely well in range and in melee damage. They're very dangerous. They're very quick. Microed correctly, they're dangerous. And there's Hellions, and there's also Reaver Jetbikes. I'm pretty sure you can get in Tier 1. I don't play Dark Eldar too much, so excuse my French. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. If he can catch one or two of these Dark Reapers in melee and do some damage, or it looks like he's just prioritizing the workers, this will hurt the build. Again, this Dark Reaper build is very expensive. Any sort of deviation from the build will break it and slow it down. So if he can kill two workers here real quick, he's in business. And look, he's keeping the Eldar army at home. Normally when we see this Dark Reaper build, this is in your base. All of this firepower is at your front door. So he's upgrading his listening post to tier 2, which is smart. And look, here we go. There's a Guardian squad here. He can catch off guard. And look, they go in melee and they just start spinning like Beyblades. And here we go. The first Reaver Jetbike is out. This thing is a ranged powerhouse. Not a lot of hit points, at only 400, but you only need 2 or 3 of them, and they will do damage. So, Dark Eldar player, you're going to start massing these Reaver Jetbikes. Now, the one thing that slows this build down is you need to build these slave chambers. This is the population increase building for the Dark Eldar. So, I believe you start the game... Yeah, you only start the game with 3 pop. That's not enough to kind of mass Reavers. You can only get 3. The Surfboard Riders count as infantry. And here we go. Here comes the Pain Train. He just needs to keep picking models off, keep harassing. He's actually forcing the Eldar player to go into a turret, which is nice. This is good. Again, he's investing in defenses, not offense. Now, these Surfboard Riders are 60-15. They're not the cheapest. And all the while, look at this, he's picking off Guardians, he's keeping the pressure up. Mandrakes are capping up on the flanks. Where are those Dark Reapers? He's keeping the Dark Reapers at home, buying himself time. And these Reaver Jetbikes, they're not going to stop. They will not stop. Now, let's say you're, again, I always use Space Marines as a reference. They're a very basic, easy beginner playing race. If you put a heavy bolter turret down, let's say maybe here, or maybe here, and kind of control this whole avenue, and maybe 1 or 2 Space Marine squads, not even reinforced, maybe 2 5-unit Space Marine squads, you can hold off Reaver Jetbikes. Again, they're very flimsy. Very flimsy. They are a vehicle only in name. And again, look at this. He's got the Reavers in here picking off Bone Singers, the worker unit for the Eldar. And look at how quick they do damage. Like to see this minefield. I love minefields. And again, look, you can see this one's already almost dead. Turrets up. 2 turrets invested here trying to get this built. And he's already lost 1 worker. Let's see. He's keeping these Dark Reapers back. And now, the key thing to look for in this game is what's he going to transition into? Does he double down on the Reavers? Because this won't last forever. A 3rd Dark Reaper squad. Let's actually check the Eldar economy. So 92-20 for Dark Eldar, 80-20 for the Eldar. So he's a little bit behind. The Eldar player just needs to plant his feet and unleash hell. So he has Fleet of Foot on. So Fleet of Foot reduces range damage. I think it's like 40%. I don't want to say 70%. That sounds too crazy. But he just needs to plant his feet here like this and whittle down the Reaver Jetbike numbers, which you're seeing here. If he does this, he will gain the lead at some point. Now, the Dark Eldar player can at some point transition into getting upgrades for these Reavers. They're a little expensive. It's an armor, I believe it's like an armor health upgrade. It's a hollow field, so it basically gives the vehicle more health, and then there's an accuracy upgrade. So while these Reavers are moving, they're doing less damage. There's an upgrade to get, and it basically negates that damage reduction while they're moving. And here we go, the Mandrakes are moving in. These Hellions in the back killing workers. I love this minefield play. These units are floating. How are the mines hitting them? Questions we'll never know. The Eldar player, once he sets his feet and decides to shoot, which you can see he is, their units are very, very squishy. But look, he has to keep buying these workers. The Dark Eldar player knows this, and he's just limiting the amount of workers. We have 2 support platforms in base, and they're just going to rip through all these Mandrakes. And I'm actually curious to see how this turns out, because that was most of the Dark Eldar army. I say that as he has 5 of these still flying around. He has no more infantry. He's slowly harvesting souls, and he's getting his Hall of Blood, so he's going to transition into a more infantry build, and he's going tier 2. Eldar player, very angry, very broke, also transitioning, getting his soul shrine up. He's going to get some upgrades on those Dark Reapers, which make them deadly. But here we go. The Eldar player's moving out, and the Dark Eldar player's like, okay, I know, I see you're over there. I'm driving in this way now. And again, if he can pick off all 3 of these workers, or heck, even take a listening post or 2, this is worth it. And look, the Dark Eldar is now forcing Eldar to come home. Another Reaver cooks out. And I'm curious to see what he builds out of this Hall of Blood. I don't think he really even needed to buy that, but it's interesting to see. We don't see too many Dark Eldar players on the Soulstorm website that we use. I mean, even when in multiplayer, you don't see too many. And look at this. You see these Reapers starting to shoot. Took about a quarter health, maybe half. Well, yeah, close to half health there. Yeah, let's see what he gets out of this Hall of Blood. Anything interesting? No. I'm going to assume this was to get witches to rush the Eldar player. I'm going to assume. We're going to see a witch cult here pretty soon. He's got the wreck for it and the power if he wanted. And let's jump back. What's the Eldar doing? Getting another generator. He doesn't have much power, which for an Eldar is a death sentence. He's upgrading more of his listening posts. This is what you want to see. Get your economy back. And he's just rotating his army back and forth to keep an eye on these Reaver Jetbikes. And what's happening here? So there it is. There's the targeting module. Very scary upgrade for those Reavers. So there's one. And what's he getting out of here? He's getting his Archon. There's the Witch Colts. Let's see if he techs into Witches now to kind of rush this infantry down.
3 minutes until take and rule victory.
And meanwhile, who has that victory? Rectangles? Oh, Dark Eldar is ticking down. 9230 on the Eco versus 9230. Okay, so they're even. So the Eldar player has upgraded more of his listening posts, but the Dark Eldar player is benefiting from these critical locations. So there's the Archon. He's adding on Incubi. Again, we talked about this the last time we saw Dark Eldar. They're another Commander Squad faction, and you'll see every time an Incubi dies, the health drops dramatically. He's very deadly, the Archon, in melee and in ranged, and so are the Incubi, but they're very low hit point models. Here we go. Look at that. Oh, immediately takes a Reaver Jetbike out. So while, yeah, very strong unit, you got to be really careful. There's the shield upgrade. So the health is going to increase. Here's the first Witch Squad. He just needs to time this right. The CC that he just purchased there, the Crucible Malediction, locks a squad in place, and then it allows these Reavers to do this. Morale broken. That's a whole squad dead. He did buy a Starburst upgrade for the support platform. And that took our Reaver number down to 3. And he's farming souls. I wish I could see what he's going to buy with all these souls. He's got 300. It's quite a bit. And here we go. Guardian's dying basically for free, but he needs to stop the victory countdown. Victory countdown stopped at the Guardian squad's death. And here we go. Fire Dragons trying desperately to counter these Reavers. They're just in the wrong spot. Maledictum goes off again. The cooldown, I think, is 30 seconds. Another Dark Reaper squad dead. And the Witches are now in. They have that cocktail they have, which makes them run faster and do more melee damage. I believe their health ticks down consistently, constantly while it's happening. I like this Falcon here. The Falcon can even pressure the Reavers. So Eldar's build is slowed down. Normally you see this Falcon out like 2 to 3 minutes sooner. And again, Reavers are just cooking. Reavers are not stopping coming out. We're getting the damage ranged increase from for the Archon and the leader units. Scourges are here. Anti-vehicle's ready, so he's going to want to catch that Falcon flat-footed. And the Eldar players making the Dark Eldar think there's something in here. There is not. But he's getting a scout. And here we go. Look at this. Look at the damage these Fire Dragons put out. They die quite quickly, though. They're very fragile. I want to say there's no armor upgrades. That's how fast they're dying. And the Eldar player's army is slowly pushing back out on the map. He's getting more gens. Oops, sorry. 9840 for the Eldar, 8640 for the Dark Eldar. So the Eldar economy will slowly start pushing ahead with his listening post upgrades. We see Warp Spiders coming. Again, the whole build is delayed by a few minutes. We normally see these Warp Spiders cooking much sooner. And let's see what happens here. The Dark Eldar player is gonna start losing as the game goes on later and later, just for the quality of units they can bring out versus what the Eldar can bring. I mean, you get a couple Warp Spider squads in there, they're gonna just rip through anything. Dark Eldar is gonna need to try and get some vehicle play besides Reavers if the game goes on. And here comes the Raiders coming out. You can garrison ranged infantry on the sides and they'll shoot, and this thing can actually jump and cause morale loss depending on how you jump it. A Viper comes out, very interesting, but this Scourge here gonna make sure work. Look at those Reapers putting a lot of damage on the Incubus. That squad's now locked. Where did the Falcon go? 3 Dark Reaper squads for almost nothing. Oh, here we go. He wants to try and snipe the Raider, doing a lot of damage. There's the armor upgrade now, so they should be able to stand up and trade a little bit better. And look at this Raider just flying in. It has very minimal guns on the front of it. I believe Scourge cannot get in because of their jetpacks. This is being played very nicely by Rectangles. Ooh! The Viper here takes down the Raider. I really like the Viper. I do wish back in the original Dawn of Wars you could upgrade the type of gun on the Viper. Now it's just a default missile launcher. Very cool little unit. You don't see it as often. And yeah, this Scourge numbers are starting to get very, 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 very scary. Vipers will do good disrupting them, but they don't have enough health to stand up like a Dreadnought. So here we go. Everybody's flying in. Fire Dragons get caught up in melee. Scourges are going to start ripping through these poor Vipers. Yeah, that missile missing and not causing that disruption is just brutal. Hate to see it. Falcon getting massacred down by the Scourge. Warp Spiders are finally here. Workers going into melee. Really nice little tactic here to tie up the Scourges. A bit late though, the Falcon already went down. Now these Warp Spiders are going to get murdered by Reavers. Man, if he just focus fired these Reavers down, the fight would be a little bit different. More Warp Spiders coming out. He did preserve the squad, which is important. Yeah, if he just... Oh, he is. Okay, good, good, good. Reavers are getting taken out. Want to keep the numbers low. These listening posts are going down now. And the Eldar player couldn't recover. If he gets a couple Wraith Lords and he's getting his 3rd Warp Spider squad, if he can maintain Warp Spider numbers here, the Eldar player is still in this game. Another Raider's coming. More Witches are cooking. Reavers are remassing in numbers, and this is nice, decapping, denying the Eldar player that economy. And let's see, Wraith Lord's coming. He will have enough money if he stops getting Warp Spiders to get one more. I believe, what's their power cost? 250. Maybe he won't have enough. Just a slow build up. The Dark Eldar player knows he can't kill the Eldar right out. Warp Spiders, nice shielding, nice kind of buffering unit. These are all anti-vehicle Scourge. Not all of them, most, but they will not do the damage needed. Ooh, goodness. Just right there. Stand there, shoot them up. Beautiful. But look at that focus fire from the Reavers, and then the juice goes in by the Witches. The Witches are no slouch in ranged either, especially with that cannon that the Exarch unit gets. This is really nice play by the Dark Eldar. Wraith Lord coming in on the flank, but again, all these Scourges are here, and they are ripping through this very expensive unit he purchased. Nice, double kill, and he GG's. I think he could have got some more legs out of this. Yeah, the Wraith Lord loss was huge there, but he just took out 3 Reavers, and yeah, again, this is tough, but I think he could have had that. I don't know how the Eldar player could have afforded it, but maybe a Farseer with Guide on these Dark Reapers to kind of keep the fights going. Mind War on the Archon would have helped a bit, I feel. Otherwise, really nice 1v1. Very back and forth. The Dark Eldar was in such a commanding lead, but at the same time, the Eldar player played it correctly, even with that OP build. So, nice job there by the Dark Eldar player. Very rare you see a Dark Eldar player of that skill level kind of push through and win and defeat that Dark Reaper build. That Dark Reaper build is brutal. It's brutal for the average player. Let's go ahead and check the military. 72 kills, 55 lost. Eco was pretty close. And technology? Okay, there you have it, everybody. That was a really nice game. I really enjoyed that one. That was probably one of the better games I think we've casted so far on this channel. Really like the back and forth there. I really like to see the Dark Eldar. Very rare to see, so it's always nice to kind of see some, different builds, spice things up a little bit, and kind of challenge that Dark Eldar, Dark Reaper build. Anyway, leave a comment, let me know what kind of matchups you want to see in the future, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much.